Hi and welcome to the video on multiplying and dividing terms. By the end of this video you should be able to divide and multiply algebraic terms. So let's take a look. Terms can be multiplied and divided without needing them to be like terms. Here's what I mean by that. I have three examples where none of them are like terms, but we can actually multiply all of them to get a simplified answer. Let's begin with 4a times 3b. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply the numbers. So we're going to do 4 lots of 3 and get 12. And then we're going to multiply the letters together. A lots of b is just AB. So 4a times 3b simplified is going to be 12ab. Let's look at example number 2. 2m times 3m. Again, we're going to multiply the numbers together. So 2 lots of 3 is 6. And then we're going to multiply the letters together. Now when you're multiplying two letters that are exactly the same, we can simplify that to m squared. Don't write it as mm because that's not a simplified version that we will accept. Let's look at the third example. We're going to multiply the numbers together. So we're going to do 3 lots of 5, which is 15. Then we're going to multiply all the a's together. So a times a gives me a squared. Then we're going to multiply all the b's together, which is just one of them. So we'll just have the b in our answer. And then we'll multiply all the c's together, which will give us c squared. So 3ab times ac times 5c gives us a simplified answer of 15a squared b c squared. Okay, that's multiplying. Now we're going to be dividing terms. Now when we divide terms, they normally look like fractions, like the three examples that I have here. We're going to begin just like it with fraction by cancelling off any common factors in both the numerator and the denominator. What I mean by that is I'm going to look at that 15 and 3 in that first question, and I'm going to divide both the numerator and denominator by 3 because it is a common factor. It's a number that divides evenly into both of them. So if I divide the top and bottom by 3, I get a 5 at the top and a 1 down the bottom. That's called cancelling. Now I notice that I have a letter. Now that a, that pronumeral, is in the numerator and needs to stay in the numerator in my answer. Now this is a good answer, but it's not the best answer. 5a over 1 means 5a divided by 1. And whenever you divide something by 1, you leave it as what its original question was. So 5a is going to be our answer. Let's look at the second one, 9ac over 3abc. To start off with, I need to cancel that 9 and that 3. So I'm going to divide both the numerator and denominator by 3. Dividing the top by 3, I get 3. Dividing the denominator by 3, and I get 1. Now I notice that I have some letters in the top and in the bottom that are exactly the same. I can cancel those off, which means that I can divide both the top and bottom by a, and it will go away. And I can divide the top and bottom by c, and it will also go away. Technically what's happening is when we divide the top and bottom by the same letter, for example, a divided by a, we're actually left with 1. And when you have a 1 left over, they kind of go away because you're multiplying by 1 and you're left with the same answer. But what you'll notice here in the question is that there's still a b in my denominator. So there needs to be a b in my denominator in my answer. To clean this up, in year 8, we're going to expect you to get rid of that 1 because 1b and b are exactly the same thing. So our final answer should be 3 over b. Finally, the 2m squared over 8mn. I'm going to begin like I did with the other two. I'm going to start off by cancelling in my numbers. So I'm going to divide both the top and bottom by a common factor, which in this case is going to be 2. So dividing the top by 2 and the bottom by 2, I get 1/4 or 1 over 4. And then I notice that I have an m squared at the top and an m down the bottom. Now, m squared means m times m. So I can cancel off one of the m's at the top of my fraction and one of the m's down the bottom, and this will leave me with an m in my numerator and an n in my denominator. That's a good answer, except we now need to simplify that numerator. We don't want the 1 in front of the m, so our final answer will be m over 4n. If I spoke too quickly in this video, feel free to pause it, rewind it, go back, and watch the examples again. These are good examples to take in with you tomorrow. So what should you do? Well, I need you to pause and summarize both the screen that has multiplying terms as well as the one that has dividing terms, and use these examples to help you with your answers tomorrow. And that's it. Hopefully now you understand how to multiply and divide terms. If you need any clarification or any questions, feel free to ask tomorrow, and good luck.